What's going on, everyone? So in this video, we are going to be covering the hottest NFT news that you've missed. Now, the first piece of news that we have to cover is going to be Memeland Captains. Now, this is one of the hottest NFT projects right now, mainly because they will be launching meme coin really soon. There's this whole system of how much coins you will get depending on how many NFTs you have, how many maps that you have, but we don't have to go into the details of that, but potentially it is launching soon. A lot of people speculate that it may be in June or July. Nobody really knows except for the internal team themselves. Now, according to Memeland, they hired this guy, TJU Liang. I'm not sure how to pronounce the first name, but basically he's going to be the head of blockchain and digital assets at Drew and Napier. And he's also on the general council of the Ethereum Foundation. So it seems like they're going to be checking all the boxes, dotting their I's and crossing their T's when it comes to the legal structure of meme coin, which, is very important because in general, coins and tokens and things like that can be classified as different things depending on which country you're in. Is this security? Is it something that has no value? There's all these questions, but it seems like they have the right people to make sure that everything is by the book. So a lot of people are kind of bullish on that, right? Because this is not an anonymous team, and the floor price of captains, it's getting close to 9 ETH, which is definitely quite a lot, and there's still a lot of volume in this project. One thing to say is also, like, at this point, if you were to buy a captain at 9 ETH, what I would personally be thinking about is the price of the token already priced in? Because like everyone is expecting that you're gonna get like free money essentially when it comes to meme coin, right? That speculation can definitely increase the floor price of these NFTs because, a lot of people will sell the meme coin when the time comes, right? Because they gotta lock in profit. So I don't know when to buy, I don't know when to sell, but that's something I would be thinking about during this time. And by the way, guys, we actually just updated our Parallax.com website to kind of be more clear on all the benefits that we offer. We also even included a video for here to explain all the benefits of the Parallax. You're gonna get whitelist opportunities, you join the community, get access to me, and so on and so forth. And we actually do have an Academy session coming up next week, specifically talking about NFTs and tokens and the future of that and what companies are thinking from a builder's perspective. So that's definitely some deep insights that you don't want to miss out on. So if you're interested in joining the Parallax community, make sure to check out theparallax.com to learn more about what we're all about. Now, in other news, Hape has recently been acquired by Vertex Labs. So if you weren't already familiar, Hape was one of the most hype projects. It used to be called HapeBeast back then in the late 2021. At that time, there wasn't too many 3D projects out, and it was definitely hot. They had a lot of volume, 57,000 volume with 5% royalties. So they definitely have made millions just on royalties alone. I guess if they weren't really sure what to do with the project next, or maybe they want to take it to the next level, maybe selling it to an acquirer may make sense, right? So Vertex Labs basically acquired them for 12 million. Now, here's my personal thoughts on it. I don't know anyone on the Hape team, but just outside looking in. According to this article, they're really emphasizing that after the acquisition, there's going to be a staking program, probably mainly because they're trying to keep the floor price high, because you have to understand that image a lot of times plays a very important role when it comes to an NFT project. And you have to also understand that Vertex Labs already has a token. Let me just explain like what this company kind of is, because it's not super clear when it comes to their landing page. Just so you know, I'm just giving my honest opinions like I usually do, okay? So I'm not trying to FUD, I'm not trying to pump, I'm just trying to share my personal thoughts. I read the website, it's actually the language of how they present the material is pretty confusing, and I don't think it needs to be confusing, to be honest, but I believe, from my understanding, the idea is that they make it faster to render 3D by somehow sharing resources and somehow connecting blockchain to all these things. They're basically trying to say like, hey, we're gonna build like metaverse infrastructure, so like 3D infrastructure for people to use and build games on top of and things like that, right? Now we go to the token. They launched July 2022, and then around August it just dumped all the way down to oblivion, right? Looking at this, you got to look at, when did the VCs and founders have their tokens unlocked? Did they sell them? Do they believe in the future? How much tokens do they have left? That's pretty important when it comes to the incentive of people working at the company. But if they acquired Hape, my guess is that they need to use NFTs as a way of marketing, right? We've seen this pretty common with many other projects where NFTs, it's like kind of special because you basically build like a diehard community around your project, whether it's a token project or NFT project. And then from there, if you have a community, you can then get them excited about a token, or maybe a token that you already have. So if they're trying to build this whole metaverse thing, maybe they acquire the team from Hape so that they can build digital assets to use in like the metaverse so that they're building. But the thing is that there's no video or anything on their website about what they are building, which is kind of weird. The strange thing is, like, when I go into the team, they're using full names here, but then when I try to Google, just pick like 5 different random names, I can't really find any faces to the names. So that's that's kind of strange. I'm interested to understand like where the 12 million came from, and if it came from like token sales or like, you know, they have investment. It's kind of unclear. But what they're definitely trying to do is get people to buy Hape and stake them. I guess we'll see what the future holds, right? Now, speaking of projects that have been acquired and are trying to turn around, let's go ahead and talk about OmniForce. Well, first of all, OmniForce has hired a new creative director, which is Hicham Habchi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. So this person, he worked on some projects like League of Legends, Overwatch. So he shaped the IP over there. But actually, it's not really clear on exactly what his role or influence was at these companies, because like there are actually like a lot of different artists and stuff that work at these companies, right? I personally don't know him, so I'm not clear, but I'm just saying. One interesting fact is that Hicham actually worked on Valhalla. So he is actually the art advisor for Valhalla, which is quite interesting, right? So definitely an artist that is familiar with the crypto and NFT space. So going on Hicham's LinkedIn page, you can see that he did cover and comic art for Marvel, DC, principal lead, design of new game IP. So he has experience designing new things, principal concept and creative lead at Riot Games as well. So definitely someone with a lot of experience. OmniForce also hired Kushagra. I'm not even gonna try pronouncing his name because I'm not good at these pronunciations, but they hired this person to be an animation advisor. So this person worked on IPs like JoJo Bizarre Adventure, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So these are all some that I'm familiar with. So he is currently an advisor and animation supervisor at Studio Sekai. And I was like, that sounds pretty familiar. So I looked up Studio Sekai, and they are actually the ones that are doing Isekai Meta. So I suppose this guy is the NFT crypto guy that NFT projects hire if they want to do an anime. So he's directing animation for major IPs, right? But then like what part is he directing? You know, just what I've learned in the NFT space is that even if someone worked for a major IP, you always have to look into what exactly they did at that IP. Were they doing the main keyframes? Were they directing the whole thing? Were they directing specific parts of the anime? Which it can be very common. I would like to see the portfolio to really see, like, to gauge, like, you know, the quality of the anime that potentially they're going to put out, right? I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying that we don't know enough information about all these things that they're doing. But still, you know, that's definitely the right step forward in hiring the right people who have experience in anime and bringing them into NFTs. And last but not least, this is other person, David Uslan, who apparently has the IP rights for Batman. And he's going to be joining OmniForce as an advisor to help them with franchising and expanding the OmniForce universe. Maybe that's potentially creating shows. Maybe that's using the IP for toys. So overall, they got a lot of people on deck, and I'm curious to see, you know, what they come out with. Now, the last project we're going to talk about today is going to be SpiritDAO. So SpiritDAO, if you didn't know already, they are avid collectors of Azuki. They have a lot of rare Azukis. You got to have a spirit in order to join the club. And essentially, they're going to be launching their own comic book on May 31st. So total supply is going to be $9.97 at a 0.1 price. It seems like you're going to be able to get the physical copy as well, probably like a digital copy as well. And to me, this is interesting because if you think about Azuki, right? Azuki to me is almost like a layer 1 token with an anime. It's meant for people to build on top of. And so this is an interesting example of people that potentially have like funds to fund an IP and they're building their own comic, right? So I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see who mints, curious to see the quality of the IP and what that means for the future of Azuki, because if it does do well, then I'm sure more people will be inspired to leverage off of Azuki's brand and build something on top of that. Because, you know, for entrepreneurs, they always have the option of just starting their own IP or building on top of another person's IP, right? And so this will be an interesting case study for me to observe and see what happens next. So with that said, that is everything we got to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I'm going to see you in the next one.